What is up, everyone? This is James with Games Etc. And today is the first episode, first season even, of Scrap Mechanic. This is a series that I have not done yet because at the time I did not have this game to play. But now I have the game and I would like to at least see if you would be interested in seeing a series on this. So, considering that this is episode 1, I basically wanted to just mention that this is a game that I would like to play in the future. If you are interested in seeing a series on this particular game, please hit that like button to show your support for this series, and also put a comment in the comment section if you have any ideas on things that you would like to see me build in this game. It can either be like a structure or a vehicle or something. Just make sure to put your comments in the comment section below. So yeah, anyways, obviously as you can see, I have this game in the main menu view, and I just wanted to ask again if you would like to see a series on this. If you do, like I said, please comment below. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to quit my rambling and I will see you in the game itself. So stay tuned. And we are back. Obviously, here we are in the game, and I wanted to first of all mention a couple of quick things. Before I do that, I need to lower the volume. That's better. Zoom. Anyways, back to the game. First of all, I do want to mention I have played this game a little bit just to try to get used to it, which I will show you here soon. One of my first creations. Exactly not the best design, but it's better than nothing. So I will get to that shortly. Typically when you first open the game, you will get this mechanics handbook. When you open it up, it shows basically how to play the game. You have several pages of stuff, how to do certain things, so like to build or adjusting or whatever else. It shows what to do, shows how to remove blocks and all. It also gives an idea of some of the things you can expect in the game later on. Obviously you have blocks that you can use. In a way, I consider these kind of like the blocks like in Minecraft. Just a square block, for the most part. You also have parts you can use. You have, in addition to the regular parts, obviously as you can see, interactive parts. All interactive parts have a special function that will bring your creation to life by making them move, spin, drive, fly, and more. And it can be anything from a gas engine to a fully functioning radio. And they are marked with an orange line in your inventory. As you can see, consumables that you can use in the game are coming soon. They're just not available yet. The tools that you have available is the connection tool, which is useful when you connect like wires and lines and stuff. You have the lift. You, just as a heads up, you place the lift, when you start to build, you place the item on the lift. This right here. That way you can continue to work without having to worry about the game lagging nearly as much. The sledgehammer can be used if something is not working properly, like if it's jammed or something. You can use the sledgehammer to free it so it will work. The paint tool, that's self-explanatory. You can paint the item. It can be any item you want. This one on the end, if I'm not mistaken, that's the same as the welder, so you can weld parts together. But that's one of those things that you can use if you want. It's not something you have to use, but it makes building in the game a lot more simple, or a lot easier. So let's check on how to build a vehicle, which is what I will probably be doing. As you can see, once you place, if you follow the timeline, you place the lift. After you place the lift, you use the blocks of your choice on the lift, or you start like from the middle and work out. You add your seat with the steering wheel and the gasoline engine or electric engine to the base. You add bearings, more blocks, that way you can create the axle, then more bearings and the tires. You then connect all of the lines up. You also have to add a switch, I believe. Yeah. Get everything connected up and you are ready to go. That is not taking into account that you have a form of suspension on the car. If you have those on the vehicle, it will be an additional step you need to add. Before you can use the car, your vehicle, your movable creation, if you will, you need to make sure that you select, or you highlight the motor in this case, press E for engine, or in order to get into the menu for the engine, click and drag the yellow line up to the position you want it at. Press E to escape that window. Then you just use the WASD keys on your keyboard and you can use the vehicle. You can actually steer then. With the bearing, I don't know if you can read this or not, if you can see it. Anything you attach to a bearing will rotate. It can be powered by an engine or when linked to a controller using the Connect tool. When connected to a driver's seat, bearings can be controlled with the keyboard, which is really cool. It's really interesting to use, so that's that. The lift. Build on the lift to prevent your creation from being anchored to the ground, also as a way to reduce the possibility of lag. It will lock bearings in place during construction to make it easier to build, or for your ease of building. Removing the lift will release your creation, but you can replace loose constructions onto the lift at any time. In order to adjust the height, it is the up and down arrows on the arrow key. To pick up loose objects, just click on the object, then click on the ground, and it's there. Now, as you can probably see by the picture, it has to turn like a white type color before you can place it. If it's red, you cannot place it because of being too close to other obstacles. So that's that. And as an example, you can place blocks on the lift, add a bearing, more blocks, another bearing, then more blocks, release it, and it will unlock everything. So that's just like a example on what you can use it for. The Connect tool. The Connect tool allows you to connect interactive parts by dragging from one connect point to another as shown. So, like one, and for number one, just select the connect point on the seat while still holding the left mouse button down. Hold and drag to the gas engine and then release. If you connect an engine to a bearing, you can right click to change its rotation. So the rotation of the engine, like with a wheel, for example, being attached to the bearing, you can change the rotation that the bearing turns so that the wheel would either spin clockwise or counterclockwise. Hopefully that makes sense the way that was worded. The driver's seat. If you hook up the driver's seat to a bearing using the Connect tool, you will be able to directly you will be in direct control of the bearing while seated. The same applies to engines. Connected buttons or switches can also be activated from the seat. So you could have multiple buttons, connected to multiple devices, and you can control all those while in the seat. The gas engine can make up to 5 bearings rotate when connected. Ignition and speed controls are accessed by pressing E. They can be connected to the driver's seat as shown. So place a bearing, connect, press E, hold and drag the yellow line up to where you want it and release, and the speed of in this case the wheel will be based on the gas engine speed. Same way with the bottom one. Next one is thruster or jet engine. Thrusters send your creations flying, activated by connecting any type of trigger or the driver's seat. Make sure that the object you want to send flying is not stuck to the ground. Obviously, if it's stuck to the ground, it won't move. But anyways, next one is the different types of triggers. Triggers are used to activate other interactive parts like engines, thrusters, or the controller, and more. There are 3 types of triggers that work in different ways. You have the switch, which the toggles connected. The switch will toggle the connected creations on and off. The button activates connected parts for as long as the button is held down. The sensor activates connected creations when something moves within its range. As a little side note, in the more advanced builders in the game, they will use the trigger, in this case the sensor, as a way to keep their creations from getting too close to the ground. It's kind of confusing, I think, for right now, since I have not played the game that much. And the little bits that I have played the game, it's been just basic stuff. Next one, as you can probably see, is the controller. The controller enables the creation of transforming, moving machines. Program your bearings to rotate at set degrees in a set sequence and activate by using a trigger. So then you have the tutorial on how to build in this case, an automatic door, which is interesting. I'm not going to go into discussion over this right now, or let you. Actually, I may go back to this later on, but not in this episode. Finally, the logic gate. The logic gate allows you to create logic-based solutions. The logic block is a powerful block that allows you to program in physical form. Then follow the steps in this guide to learn a basic setup for opening one door with 2 separate triggers. This is an area I have not even heard that much about, so I will be interested to find out more about this feature later on. And the reason why I was kind of quiet for a little bit is it has logic gate allows you to create logic-based solutions. Sound like with logic gate and U2 create was a little bit of a rhyme intentionally, but that's that. Next, you will find several frequently asked questions or common questions, and it just goes over some of the things that people typically ask. I won't go into these right now, but if you want to view these, just pause the video, read over them real quick, then you can continue. So anyways, that's that. I'm going to go ahead and, because this is what I do, I select the first one, then I close. So in order to access the menu or inventory, you press you press I on your keyboard to access this. I will just drag it up and drop it. That way it's out of the view. The project that I had worked on is, are you ready to see it? That. Not the best design for a bus. By the way, I had to place those down just to keep it from rolling away. That's my bus. I know, that thing is hideous looking. Not the prettiest. By no means is it the prettiest bus on the road. And yes, I know, there's a huge opening in the back here. Not quite right, but oh well. For one thing, it's too heavy of a bus. The material used was mostly metal. Yes. It was mostly metal block for the body of it. I should have used wood. That was my fault. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. I will show you the bottom of it. That's how you move them around. First of all, one thing I want to show is, yes, I know it's clipping through. That's normal. That actually makes it a little easier to where you can work with it. Move that out of the way. This is basically how the suspension is supposed to look. It does not, because obviously it's so heavy. I probably could have designed this different. This side, by the way, is mostly done, if you want to use that term. It's mostly finished. This side, however, is not. Raise this up, and by the way, I changed the keys on my keyboard. Instead of using the up and down arrows, I use on the number pad the plus and minus. For me, it's just easier to use the plus and minus than the up and down arrows. That's just me. So I will extend this one out, and then I will remove, once I get a little closer, remove this. As you can see, it drops like a rock. Get the timing right. Okay. As you can see, it does move, but it's very slow. Hey, I think a turtle passed us. For those of you looking, no, there are not any turtles in the game yet. I honestly don't know if it's something that will be implemented later on. Just made that comment just as a joke, so don't hold me to it. And yes, I do know it's sliding back down the hill. I actually wanted to slide down, surprisingly, because I want to clear the obstacle here that I had placed to keep it from moving. Those were actually put there just to keep it from rolling down the hill so I could record this video. Funny thing is about this design, it does not quite look like a bus. Those of you that are thinking, really? What gave you that clue? To me, it looks more like a passenger car, like for rail service, or like it's for a subway or something. Does not quite look like the design you would see for a bus. Maybe that's just me, but I think it looks more like for a railroad or something like that. It's just about back far enough to where I can maneuver it. One thing that I would like to mention, while this is still slowly going back downhill, one thing I added to this was sort of like the appearance that the pipe on the bottom was like the drive shaft. So you will see when I turn the wheel, press, if you notice, it actually turns. I don't know if you can actually see it or not, but it does turn. So yeah, there you probably see it. I have it designed like that just to look like it's the drive shaft, like on a real bus, real life. Just something to make it look a little bit better. So, anyways, this will be it for that part right now. One issue that I do have is when I try to get out of the seat, I will get stuck in this area. I have to like kneel down in order to get out of the seat. Not that big of a deal. Looks really strange with this rolling, not really rolling, but sliding downhill. But I'm not going to worry about that part right now. The road is blocked, so I don't have to worry about people trying to get through. But anyways, that's the design for this bus. I don't think I will keep this design. I may be able to use, well, let me rephrase that. I may be able to reuse this, in air quotes, design of the bus, but not as a bus, if that makes sense. So what I will do is come over here, select. I'm going to come to the top of the hill, make my way up here. Okay. I'm going to save this as bus. Bus, not Busa. Bus. And then I do not want. I am going to close this and delete this one. Just delete it from the lift. I can always access the saved file later on. So, right click on the lift and it removes it from there. And I will be back after I get to more of a flat area or flatter area to show my next design. So I will be back shortly. And we're back. Okay, I'm in an area that's fairly flat-ish. There's still quite a bit of hills, like this little hill right here. But this ought to work for what, for the purpose that I want to use it for. I could go probably back that direction, see if I could find the actual launch pad or building area or whatever, but I'm not going to even worry about it. Just want to at least show my next design and see what you think. Now I am going to take a moment and show my creations. For this, I'm going to go ahead and place the lift, and I will go into a quick little montage type of thing, and I will return back to you after the montage is over with. So hopefully you enjoy this, and see you soon.